Hi everyone, how's it going? Okay, so before I begin the video, I just wanted to do a quick update on myself. As you can see, there's slight swelling here. I've been attacked on my tooth for the last few nights, I think. And like my tooth is splitting apart and it's breaking off because I've been having electronic weapons being fired there. So it's there, and it's also here in the chest bone where I've been had electronic weapons fired on me. They like to attack my core a lot. So I've been fired here and here, and I've been fired in the legs, not in the toes so much. And I was fired in the hip yesterday as well. I think it was because I've been exercising a little bit more. And, I've just been kind of releasing some stress, just exercising a little bit. So I think that's why they've started doing that. Because they're thinking if they can affect my sleep, then they'll affect my will to be able to exercise, which hasn't worked. But, yeah, it is what it is. So I have been electronically tortured. As for the perps, they're just doing the same shit. It's nothing really to write home about. They never do anything to write home about. Like, it's been 3 years and they're saying and doing the same shit. Unless they do something serious, like actually try to get me sectioned or something, which they're probably doing, because again, it takes a certain amount of reports to get an assessment done. But they haven't really done anything of note. It's just the same stuff. It's mainly the electronic torture that's kind of concerning me. But at the same time, it's nothing that I haven't been through before. That's A. B, they're trying to keep it relatively low level because they don't want to attract attention to themselves like they did back in Hove, back in the hostel, or like they did when I first moved in here. They don't want to attract a whole bunch of attention to the torture that they're actually doing to me, because I'm not like other TIs. I'm not going to suffer in silence. I'll scream my head off when I'm in pain. And they definitely don't want a repeat of January as well. They're trying to avoid that too, because then that legitimizes me. So they're keeping it relatively mild. My prediction is that as the weather gets colder, they will step up their torture, because they usually do that. There's a reason why they keep TIs in relatively cold buildings or relatively high up. It's because the colder you are, the more the electronic torture has an effect on you. So they prefer you to be in places that are relatively high up, relatively dark, where there isn't that much sunlight. In that room in there isn't much sunlight, and it can get very cold. It's colder in there than it is in here. So that actually adds to the targeting. And on top of that, it's facing right across the road. And there can easily be vans outside with electronic weaponry. I've seen like a couple of cars parked outside every time I've come out there. There's always been a couple of cars parked outside. So my thing is, that is also a combination of surveillance and electronic weaponry. So if you're north facing, the attacks are likely to get worse. If you're particularly badly hit, it might not make a difference. But if you sleep in a place where there's not a lot of sunlight, it's relatively high up, it's going to be cold. So that will maximize the effect of the torture. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why, that's one of the reasons why, even though I've been electronically tortured here, it hasn't been as bad as it would have been if I was in my room or if I was in the bathroom. In the bathroom, it can get particularly bad, especially when I'm having a shower. So, yeah, I have been electronically tortured. I'm being electronically tortured a lot of the time. But because of where I am and because of where I sleep, it's not as bad as it could be. And plus, when I'm here in my home, for some reason, ever since 3 years ago in June 2021, ever since then, they haven't hammered me as badly in my home ever since then, and it's been 3 years. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I'm being hammered up, being fired in my hips and here right now because they want attention. Yeah, so yeah, I've been getting tortured, but it's bearable pain to the point where even though I get really bad headaches and really bad jaw aches, I can still sleep. I can still sleep. I think what they're trying to accomplish with this, the people firing the weapons, I think what they're trying to accomplish with this is making sure that I kick off at somebody. Because if I kick off at somebody that's displaying aggression, you know how it goes. You display aggression, they can turn around and say that you're mentally spiraling and all the rest of it. So I think they want it just enough where I start kicking off at people, but not enough that I scare the perps or that I will actually do anything. I think they're trying to reach that middle ground where I get angry, but I don't actually harm anyone or scare any other perps. So I think that's the end goal with this electronic torture. Okay, so that's what's happening with me in terms of gang stalking. I haven't been out very much. So like everything's been like relatively peaceful and everything. So yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Especially not today. Today hasn't been too bad at all. So yeah. Oh yeah, one thing I can say about the perps. They're doing this thing where they talk about me every morning now at the top of their lungs. But then again, it's nothing new. Perps do that anyway, so it's, yeah. It's just a day in the life, unfortunately. But anyway, the real reason why I came online today was to talk about something that, I don't know, it just got my mind thinking. I thought about this TikTok video that was talking about having a revolution or having a particular revolution. I'm not going to say which one it is. And they were saying that it's usually the weaklings or the weak links that allow enemy parties to infiltrate. That a lot of revolutionary practices or practices that could free marginalized people were often shut down because there were people within the marginalized groups that were siding with the enemy, right? And it really got me to thinking about how the same people end up getting shafted time and time again. It really got me thinking about that. And this is where I start to talk about how my experiences as a TI has helped me understand how evil works. This is the thing. The reason why the same people keep getting shafted over and over again is because of two reasons. Good people or people on the victim side don't trust each other. We don't trust each other and we don't have patience with one another. Understandably so, but we don't trust each other and we don't have patience with one another. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when we want help from one another, we come empty-handed. 9 times out of 10, we come empty-handed. When we ask for help from one another, we don't bring a goddamn thing to the table. Now, I'm kind of an exception because I do online tarot readings. I share what I love with people that mean the most to me. I started my tarot readings for targeted individuals in the first place. So because I always had them in mind, when I do discounts and stuff like that, for TIs and TIs alone, that's my way of like giving back to the community. It's not money, but it's something. It's my way of giving back to the community. Do you understand what I mean? Because I've tried going down the route of finding organizations to donate to and all that, and it's just never worked for me. So I use my craft to provide a platform through which I can contribute to other TIs. If I can charge people who aren't TIs and who have the money, and I can give the money to people who actually need it, through these discounts, then it's not perfect, but it's a start. It means that money is circulating within the TI community because I'm being paid, but also that it's being retained in the TI community because my services are not being bought at full cost here. It's being bought at a discount. And on top of that, I'm using my platform to talk about gang stalking anyway, or to talk about gang stalking in specific ways in the first place. So when I do what I do, I have the full intention of giving back to the TI community to the point where hopefully we won't be a TI community anymore, and we will actually be freed of gang stalking and all of its bullshit. Where we will be freed of the people who are murdering and trafficking us, and they won't have the opportunity to murder and traffic us anymore while we're still living. So like, it's my intention to do all of this and more, because I haven't started yet, to supplement the TI community so that we can actually thrive together. But a lot of TIs are either not in that position or quite frankly don't want to do it. And this is not just TIs, it's also good people or people who are obedient to society. They don't want to give to one another. They don't want to give to one another. They don't want to support one another like that. They don't trust one another like that. People who break through, the world's conspiracies, they don't trust each other. They don't trust each other. They trust evil more than they trust each other. And what I mean by that is that they don't trust what they want. They don't like, if they want racism to end or sexism to end or homophobia to end, they don't really trust that. They don't really trust that it will end. So already like, any motivations are dead on arrival because they don't believe it will happen. The second thing is that we usually come empty-handed. Once again, it's partially strategic and it's partially our responsibility. Like, partially, the reason why we have nothing to give to one another is because, we don't take risks. We just don't take chances. That's the reason why we have nothing to give to one another, really. We just don't take chances. We just don't want to take for ourselves, either because we feel like it's morally wrong, or in my case, simply because you really deep down, you're scared of being seen. Because once you're seen, that's when people pounce on you. But good people, or people who are vulnerable, or people who are marginalized, we have like relatively nothing to give each other, and we don't trust each other. Now, evil, everything and everyone trusts evil. And the reason I say that is not because we like evil, we don't like it. But evil has resources. Learn from gang stalking. Evil has resources. Evil people are always thinking about what's in it for them. So they go out and they get resources. They get people aligned with them. They appeal to the interests of the people that they're talking to. And they know, because they've hoarded most of the fucking resources, they have the resources to give. So people trust evil because evil brings security. Evil brings security. You can use evil as currency. That's why evil people always win. That's why people with undeserved privilege always win, because they are vacuums of resources. And when they need somebody to do their dirty work for them, they have the resources available to give to those people. Evil offers security. Evil offers abundance in a way that good does not. And human beings are finite. It takes a fucking tough person to be able to look at evil and say, you know what, I don't want none of what you got. Most people are not like that. Most people are not like that. Most people are not on the side of, well, I'm not going to take that because I've got my principles. Most people are not like that. I sit here and I down people for not being ethical and for not being courageous, but most of us aren't, including me. If you gave a person a choice between comfort and stability and doing the right thing, 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose comfort and stability. And we would like to kid ourselves into thinking that, no, we choose the good option. We do the right thing. No, you'd only do the right thing if not doing that threatened your security and threatened your comfort. That's the truth. And that's why evil people keep getting away with it. That's why the trust is there. Because evil does not care what you want something for. It will give it to you so long as you give it what it wants. It does not care. It does not care. And it's the same with, most of the people leading us and most of the people with the most money in society, that most of them have personality disorders and antisocial personality disorders. Most of them people are psychopaths or narcissists. Sociopaths are a different thing. Sociopaths, I don't know. Sociopaths are a bit flaky. But like most of those people are either psychopaths or narcissists. And I'm not talking about clinical people who are clinically like that. I'm talking about people who know they're like that and they refuse to get therapized. They refuse to do anything about that. Most of the people who own and run this world have emotion, but they don't feel it in the same way as everybody else does. And that's why they're able to have control over us. That's why they're able to do evil things and not bat an eyelid. But then those same people are the ones who have the most security, 9 times out of 10. Those are the ones with the most security. Those are the ones with something to offer. Those are the ones who, are able to dangle certain things in front of people's faces and get results. That's what good people lack. That's what marginalized people lack. And honestly, again, it is partially systemic. It is partially systemic. I can't deny that. There have been barriers put in place for truth tellers, for, people of black and brown origin, for women, for children even. Children can't get any rights really. We're still debating over whether or not it's good to hit them. Of course it isn't fucking good. But most people want to have a conversation about it. And children are still not protected from trafficking ever, because people won't even call out abusers in their own families. So, children are denied, women are denied, black and brown folk are denied, and queer folk are denied, poorer people are denied. There are so many people who are denied that systemically. But again, that's only partially. It's only partially a systemic thing. The other component is lack of trust in one another, lack of trust in the good that we want to achieve and in the good that we want to do. Throw TIs in there too. It's the lack of trust in the good that we want to do in the world, because we don't think it's possible. I don't even think it's possible. I don't think gang stalking will end in my lifetime. I think it will end when there's no money in it anymore. I think it will end when there's no money in it anymore. And I think when it will be exposed, it will be exposed 50 years into the future, when the same people talking about it are no longer alive. Dr. Robert Duncan is already dead, and he was one of the most legitimate people talking about this subject matter. He's dead already. So I don't see us getting justice in our lifetime. I really don't see it. Okay? And it is strategically like that. It's systemically put in place like that to wear us out, to make sure that we don't have any resolve, to make sure that we don't have any sense of self-preservation, to make sure that all we do is talk, to make sure that all we do is try to hurt people's feelings rather than actually going for what we want. It is systemically engineered like that. I'm not going to sit here and say that it isn't. At the same time, we are partially to blame because we don't trust what we want. We want a better world for everyone, not just black and brown people, not just queer people, not just TIs. We want a better world for, I personally want a better world for everyone. Fuck all that noise. I want a better world for everyone. But deep down, I don't trust it. And it's that lack of trust in what we want. It's the refusal to let ourselves be delusional about the shit. That's why we don't have a better world. And that's why good people keep losing. And that's why marginalized people keep losing. We don't trust. We don't trust. We don't have the resources to offer one another, to keep one another in each other's pockets. And we don't trust anything either. We don't trust at all. And as long as we don't trust, and as long as we don't become at least a little bit selfish in getting as much resources as possible, we're always going to fail. We're always going to fail. Instead of looking at your enemies and thinking that you don't want to be anything like them, learn from them. You don't have to do things in the same way that they do it. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. But you need to be able to have something to offer. Like, what if we're going to ask people to give up the comfort that they've gained from injustice, what are the financial and material securities that we are going to offer them for doing so? And no, I'm not just talking about an idea, because an idea can easily be stolen by the same evil people doing all of this to us, and they can repurpose it so that the people they want to succeed will succeed. So I'm not just talking about ideas here. I'm talking about, what do you have in your hand? What do good people have in our hands to offer one another? What businesses are we running? What products are we offering? What products are we selling? What are we doing? What do we have to offer one another? What places are we building for TIs rather than these fucking experimental facilities that they keep dropping us off to? What places are we building? How are we using our skills? How are we making sure that the weapons can't target us long enough to stop us from what we're doing? What are we doing? What security are we offering each other? Realistically. That's why good people always lose. It is what it is. You know, it just boils down to that. And I don't know what the future holds. All I know is that we can't keep talking about what we want if we're not willing to go towards it. We can't keep talking about that shit. You know? You know? Another thing that we have to understand is that desire, I've said it on my Empress Justice Tarot channel and I'm saying it here. Desire demands complete and total selflessness. Meaning that whatever you want, you've got to give something up. You've got to give something up. You've got to give up something that your ego holds dear. That's what you have to give up. You have to be completely selfless to your desires. You've got to get to know your desires. Like, in the same way, like, I'm going to be real with you, right? When it comes to your desires, the way you have to meet your desires is the same way that a borderline personality person would meet their latest obsession. That's how you have to be. And when you engage in that, you have to make sacrifices. You do have to make sacrifices for what you want. What is it that you want? I've had to think back to myself over and over again. What do I want? And what am I prepared to give up to get what I want? It might involve giving up a lot of what I think would make me powerful. I mean, shit. I'm already giving up my teeth, to tell the truth. Giving up my looks. Well, not really, because my looks are not that bad. Giving up, my glamour, to tell the truth. I've given up my love to stick by the truth. I've given up, trying to have like any kind of real relationship with some of the people in my life, to tell the truth. I've given up very privileged positions that I could have been in order to tell the truth. There are so many things that I believe would have made me so much more powerful in this world. I've given them all up just to be a part of a conversation as to how to make the world better. I've given up a lot, and I don't regret I don't regret it at all. When I tell you I don't regret that shit, not a single moment of it. Not one. I don't regret shit. And the older I get, I will regret even less. Because that's what it takes. I want this world to be better for everyone. And I want this gang stalking shit to stop. I want people to stop being murdered for nothing more than to line defense systems' pockets and pharmaceutical companies' pockets. I want lying family members and honey traps to get their day in court and to be imprisoned. Let them be used for cheap labor. Let them be used as lab experiments. I want traffickers to be put to the sword too. Let them be lasered. Not us. Let the whole fucking community of lying ass people that have put their whole communities to the fucking sword, that have basically sent their entire communities into disrepair, that vandalize every single place they go just to get to one person. Let them be experimented on. Let them go to prison. Let them be cheap labor, even cheaper than they are now. Let them suffer. I'm tired of people who never asked for it suffering. And I'm especially tired of good people suffering. I'm not a good person. But there are good people suffering, and I'm fucking tired of it. I don't want good people suffering. Fuck all that. Whatever sacrifices I have to make, I'm good with. I'm fine with it. I've made peace with it. I've made fucking peace with it. I'm good. I'm fucking good. You know what I mean? Because it was worth it. It's worth it. I'm at peace. I'm good. Sorry, I'm twirling this around. Look. I've been doing that the whole time I was talking to you. Look. Yeah. So yeah, like desire is a thing where you have to give everything to have what you want, and if you're not prepared to give everything, then it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. And it offers no security to the people who truly need it in order for them to be on your side. I hope it made sense. It probably didn't. But now I have to go. And, oh yeah, I want to make sure that my TIs know that in October, hang on, what day is it? Oh, Lord. Okay, so it's the 27th of October. You've got 3 days to join the mailing list on realjusticetarot@gmail.com. You've got 3 days to join the mailing list. Okay, because the next time the discounts will be available, the 20% discount will be available, will be next year. And it's the same with the 25% discount. Better make sure that you put your name on the list. I need a name, I need your email, I need a recent selfie, and I need a name, recent selfie, social media handles, and your testimony. I need all of them. Do not give me one or the other. And another stipulation that I have is do not come into my email telling me you don't have money. I don't care. Don't come into my email telling me you've got money. Come to me. You can join the mailing list. It's fine. You are not being charged to join the mailing list. It's free to join. Okay, so don't come into my fucking email telling me you ain't got no money. Just join if you want to join. And when you do, you'll have discounts of 5 months of the year. Okay? But yeah, I don't need to hear your financial situation. If you can pay for the reading, pay for the reading. If you can't pay for the reading, then don't. So yes, I will need your name, recent selfie, social media handles, and a testimony. And God willing, hopefully I can do something with you guys' testimony on my channel if you allow me to. Because I feel like I do need to continue to use Empress Justice Tarot as a platform to talk about these things and to raise awareness. Okay? I love you guys. If you're a TI and you've made it to the end of this video, let me know in the comments how you guys are doing. I always want to hear from you. And as always, peace and blessings. I love you guys so much. Bye bye, my darlings.